welcome back to the Tiny Human Handbook. If you're new here, I'm Ellen and I'm a mom. I have studied child development, plus I've worked in young children's enrichment programs throughout my career. So today I'm here to guide you through Leap 6, which covers the developmental stages between 8, 9, and 10 months old. So this is all based on the Wonder Weeks book, and I'm excited to share what I've learned through it with you. So in this video, we're covering the key developmental milestones that you can expect during this phase. I'm also sharing expert tips on how you can best support your baby's growth during this time. And of course, I'm suggesting some of the best toys and gifts that are perfect for babies at this stage. So with the holidays coming up, these suggestions might even help you get a head start on your Christmas shopping. So whether your baby is starting to crawl, babbling up a storm, or really beginning to show a deeper bond with you, this stage is packed with exciting changes. So let's dive into everything you need to know to support your little one during Leap 6. So let's talk about what Leap 6 is all about. During this stage, your baby is starting to categorize and understand the world in more sophisticated ways. This is when they begin to group objects, sounds, and people, making sense of what belongs together and what doesn't. So it's a really exciting time because you're seeing them making these connections more and more every day. What are some of the key developmental milestones you can expect during Leap 6? You'll notice an improvement in your baby's fine motor skills. So they'll be more capable of picking up smaller objects and manipulating them with greater control. Next, you're going to see their curiosity skyrocket. They're going to start exploring their environment with a new intensity, eager to discover how things work and fit together. So you'll also see the early signs of problem-solving abilities. So they'll be trying to figure out challenges, like how to reach a toy or stack objects together. They're also going to develop even stronger bonds with familiar people and objects. You might notice that they're more attached to a certain toy or more interested in spending time with you and other close family members too. Understanding these milestones can help you better support your baby during this critical time in their development. At this stage, your baby's physical development is progressing at an incredible pace. You'll start to see significant advances in their mobility and coordination. These new skills not only enhance their physical capabilities, but also boost their confidence, so they're becoming more independent in their movements. Crawling, cruising, and beyond. One of the most exciting milestones during this period is your baby's ability to move more freely on their own. By now, many babies are either already crawling or beginning to show signs of pulling themselves up to stand. Crawling is crucial. It's strengthening the muscles in their arms, their legs, and their core, which is all necessary for later stages of mobility like walking. You might notice your baby becoming more adventurous. So they're crawling around the house, exploring different rooms, and trying to reach for things that catch their interest. As they gain more strength and confidence, they'll likely start pulling themselves up to a standing position. So they'll use furniture like the couch or the coffee table. And this is often followed by cruising, where they're holding on to furniture and moving side to side. So that's helping them balance on their feet. Cruising is critical precursor to walking because they're getting the coordination and balance needed to eventually let go and take those first independent steps. During this stage, you might see your baby experimenting with standing on their own for brief moments, or even taking a tentative step or two while holding on to a parent or a caregiver's hand. And it's important to create a safe environment that encourages these new movements. Make sure that furniture is stable and there's no sharp corners or loose objects that could pose a danger to your little one. You could also help your baby build their walking confidence by gently guiding them as they practice taking steps. Every baby develops at their own pace. So while some might start walking earlier, others may take a little bit more time. What's most important though is that they're given plenty of opportunities to practice and develop their skills in a supportive environment. Hand-eye coordination, that's another major development during this stage. They're going to have a significant improvement in hand-eye coordination, help them manipulate objects with greater precision. As their hand-eye coordination improves, you'll notice that they're better able to pick up small objects, transfer them from one hand to the other, and perform more complex tasks like stacking blocks or fitting shapes into a shape sorter. This improved coordination also plays a role in their mobility. So as they're reaching and learning how to grasp objects or furniture to help them pull up and steady themselves, they can cruise around. And you can also see them getting more interested in activities that involve hands and eyes, like turning the pages in a board book, picking up finger foods, or banging things together to make sounds. This stage is an excellent time to introduce activities and toys that encourage the refinement of these motor skills. So providing your baby with a variety of objects to manipulate, that could be blocks, stacking rings, or simple puzzles, that's going to help them further develop their hand-eye coordination and fine motor skills. These activities are not just play, they are building the foundation for more advanced tasks. It's work. I want to suggest some toys and some activities to support their development during this stage. They're going to encourage mobility, coordination, and fine motor skills. A push toy or a ride-on toy. So as your baby begins to cruise and take their first steps, push toys and ride-ons are beneficial. These are going to encourage mobility and balance by providing some support while your baby practices walking. Push toys, push walkers, those are going to have extra features, lights and sounds or activities on the front to give your baby some engagement and something to hold on to while they practice their new abilities. Ride-on toys are an excellent option as well. They're going to allow your baby to practice balance and have some fun. They're designed to be sturdy and easy to use. They have a low seat, look for large wheels that are going to provide stability. Some toys even have handles that give the option to push or ride. Stacking toys or blocks are perfect for refining motor skills. So that'll introduce them to concepts of size, shape, balance, color. So there's simple wooden blocks and more complex stacking rings or stacking cups. These not only help with the physical development, but also introduce early math concepts like size comparison, spatial awareness. You might also notice your baby is becoming more deliberate in their actions as they figure out the best way to stack the pieces. That's a great sign of their growing cognitive abilities. There's also softballs or interactive sports centers. These are great ways to practice coordination and early sports play. These are easy for your baby to grasp, row, and roll. Perfect for practicing hand-eye coordination and gross motor skills. You can play simple games like rolling the ball back and forth. That's going to help with physical development and also social interaction and turn taking. Interactive sports centers are a great option because babies who are starting to show an interest in more active play, these are going to come with features like hoops for basketball, goals for soccer, or even simple games involving throwing or kicking a ball. They're designed to be engaging and fun while also helping your baby with coordination. Plus, they get to burn off some energy. They're beginning to grasp more complex ideas about how the world is organized. During this period, babies start to understand that objects, sounds, and even people can be grouped into categories. Learning to group and categorize, they can group objects based on shared characteristics at around 10 months. Learning to group and categorize objects together is one of the most fascinating aspects of cognitive development during this stage. Your baby can now group objects based on shared characteristics. Between 8 to 12 months, babies begin to notice similarities and differences between items in their environment. They might recognize that some toys are soft, other toys are hard, some make noise, some do not. So this understanding of categories helps them make sense of the world around them. It provides a framework for learning new concepts as they grow. You may notice your baby starting to experiment with grouping their toys. For example, they might place all of their soft plush toys together or separate the colorful blocks from plain blocks. This behavior is an early sign of their ability to categorize, a cognitive skill that will become more sophisticated over time. As they begin to understand categories, they also start associating words with these groups, which is an essential step towards language development. Hearing you consistently name objects like ball, block, or car helps to reinforce these early categories and build your baby's vocabulary. This is also when your baby starts to understand in, out, open or closed. They understand, or they begin to understand that certain objects fit within certain categories, fit inside certain objects, like putting them into a box or taking them out of a box. You can narrate their actions and guide them through simple activities that involve these concepts. You might say, let's put the ball in the basket, or can you take the car out of the garage? Along with categorization, babies at this stage also begin to hone their problem-solving abilities. They start to explore cause and effect relationships more deeply, which is a crucial step in cognitive development. You'll likely notice your baby experimenting with how their actions can influence their environment. For instance, they might repeatedly drop an object from their high chair or their stroller just to see what happens when it hits the floor. They might push a button on a toy to watch it light up or watch it play a sound. These experiments are more than just playful activities. They are essential for your baby's cognitive growth. Through these interactions, your baby is learning that their actions can produce predictable outcomes, which is a critical component of problem solving. They're beginning to understand that if they perform a certain action, they can expect a certain result in the end, such as pressing a button to hear music or shaking a rattle to make a noise. At this stage, your baby's problem-solving skills are still in really early stages, but they're becoming more intentional and deliberate in their actions. They might spend more time trying to figure out how to make a toy work or how to achieve a desired result. So they'll show persistence and determination in their efforts. Encouraging this type of exploratory play is fun and important. It helps your baby develop cognitive skills that are needed for more complex problem-solving tasks in the future. So I want to suggest some toys that are going to support cognitive development during this stage. These are toys and activities that are going to challenge their growing abilities and encourage exploration of categories and problem solving. One is shape sorters. This is an excellent toy for encouraging both categorization and problem solving. These toys consist of a box or a container with various shaped toys, and they also provide an opportunity for your baby to engage in trial and error, which is an important aspect of problem solving. They'll likely try to fit a shape into the wrong hole several times before finding the right match. That's going to help them learn about persistence and the importance of trying different approaches. They offer gentle guidance and encouragement as they experiment with the shapes. You've also got interactive books with flaps or textures or other elements that help engage your baby's curiosity and reinforce their understanding of categories. These books often have different textures: smooth, rough, fuzzy, fluffy, and it helps them categorize objects by touch. So there's also lift the flap books, which help babies find hidden pictures or words. That's going to introduce the concept of hidden or found. Reading these types of books together can be a fun and educational experience. As you explore the different textures and hidden surprises, you can talk about what you're seeing and what you're feeling. So that'll help your baby make connection between words and categories. For example, you might say, this is the soft bunny, or let's find the rough sandpaper page. This will help your baby build their vocabulary. There's also musical instruments. Introducing simple musical instruments such as drums, xylophones, and maracas. This is a wonderful way to support cognitive development, particularly in auditory categorization. For example, hitting a drum has a different sound than shaking a maraca. That's going to help your baby categorize sounds by the type of instrument and the action required to produce them. Playing music together can also be a great bonding activity. You might notice your baby trying to mimic the sounds that you make or experiment with different ways to play an instrument, such as tapping a xylophone with their fingers instead of a mallet. This helps reinforce their understanding, all while having fun and enjoying making music. As your baby progresses through Leap 6, you'll notice significant changes in how they interact with you and other familiar faces. The bond you've been nurturing since birth deepens, but at the same time, your baby's beginning to assert their independence. Around the 8 to 10 month mark, your baby's social interactions become more deliberate and meaningful. They're no longer just responding to your cues, they're starting to initiate social exchanges on their own. You'll notice they're making more eye contact, smiling at you intentionally, and even mimicking your own facial expressions and sounds. At this stage, your baby might also show more affection towards you and other close family members, whether it's reaching out for a hug, snuggling up against you, or planting a big old kiss on your cheek. That indicates that your baby's learning how to express love. They're beginning to understand that they can show their feelings through physical touch and other actions. However, with this growing attachment comes the potential for separation anxiety, and that's normal. It's a sign that your baby is developing a strong bond with you. They're learning that they can trust you to come back. even if you're out of sight for a little while. This stage can be really challenging for parents, but it's also an opportunity for babies to develop a sense of security and trust in your relationship and other relationships that they'll have. It's important to engage in activities that encourage interaction and bonding. So simple games like peekaboo, where you hide your face and then reappear, can be really reassuring for your baby. Games can teach them that just because somebody or something is out of sight, it doesn't mean that they're gone forever. This understanding is important for helping them understand moments of separation and helping them cope and develop trust in their caregivers. They're also beginning to explore the world with a newfound sense of independence. You'll notice your baby is more eager to crawl around and investigate their surroundings. They might crawl away from you to check out a new toy or pull themselves up to get a better view of what's on a table. This drive to explore is a natural part of their development, and it shows that they are getting more confident in their abilities. Even though they're starting to venture out on their own, they'll still look for reassurance from you. You might see them crawl a short distance away, turn back to make sure you're still there before going on again. This is helping them balance their need for independence and their need for security. They want to explore, but they also want to know that you're close by if they need you. You can also encourage independence by offering toys that promote self-directed play. Toys that they can interact with on their own, such as stacking rings or push and pull toys. That allows your baby to experiment and learn without needing constant guidance. You'll also witness a fascinating revolution in language skills during this stage, building the foundation for communication, where the sounds that they've been experimenting with start to take on meaning. This period is marked by a noticeable increase in babbling, the emergence of first words, and a growing ability to understand and respond to simple commands. Around the 8 to 10 month mark, your baby's babbling will likely become more varied and complex. Before, they were repeating simple sounds like ba, ba, da, da. Now you're going to hear a wider range of consonants and vowel combinations. At this stage, the baby is not just making random noises, they're practicing the sounds that they hear around them. They're trying to imitate the speech patterns of their caregivers, and you may even start to notice that certain sounds are repeated more often, especially those that seem to get a response. During this time, your baby may say their first intentional word. This is a significant milestone, and many parents can't wait. The first word might be something as simple as mama, dada, or a favorite object like ball. Every baby is developing at their own pace. To help support them, it's important to have meaningful conversations with them. You can narrate your daily activities, describing the objects that they're playing with, respond to their attempts at speech with enthusiasm. Even if they're not entirely clear yet, acknowledging their efforts will help encourage them to keep practicing and refining their language skills. As your baby's understanding of language deepens, they're also going to start to respond to simple requests and commands. It shows that they're not only listening to you, but they also are starting to comprehend what you're saying. Like, come here, give me the ball, or wave bye-bye. Those are usually some of the first instructions that your baby will understand and respond to. So their ability to follow simple directions is a sign that their receptive language skills are developing. It typically develops before expressive language, which is the ability to speak. So even if your baby isn't talking much yet, their growing ability to follow commands indicates that they're making a lot of progress in understanding language. And you can help them with this just by incorporating it into your daily routine. Ask your baby to roll the ball during playtime or pick up the block. During a meal, say, show me your cup or take a bite. These interactions not only reinforce their understanding of words, but also encourage them to engage more actively with their environment. Keep it simple and clear for this stage. So here's a few suggestions of toys and activities to help make learning fun and effective. Interactive storybooks, again, these are a great tool for helping engage your baby in language-rich activities. They often include flaps to lift, textures to touch, buttons to press. That's going to help make the reading experience more interactive and enjoyable. As you read together, encourage your baby to point to pictures, repeat simple words, or mimic the sounds you make. For example, if there's a picture of a dog, you can say, "Where's the dog? Woof woof." And can you say dog? This kind of interaction helps reinforce word-object association and helps your baby to be more interactive and more engaged in the story process. You also have songs and rhymes. These are like nursery rhymes, or you can make up your own songs or make up your own little rhymes or hand clapping games. Anything like that is going to help enrich their vocabulary, and providing the rhythm along with the song makes it not only enjoyable, but it helps make it more predictable for the little one. And hand movements along with the song help with associations as well. So for example, the itsy bitsy spider, using your hand motions to show up the spout and down is also a good bonding activity too. It helps reinforce the meaning of the words. And like I said, the holiday season might already be on your mind. For us, actually, my son was in this leap right around the holidays. So we want to think about how to support their growth and learning when thinking about holiday presents. It's a great idea to consider toys and activities that align with the developmental milestones that your baby's reaching during this stage. You also might want to consider toys that grow with your child, so toys that can be versatile enough to be used for several months or even years. And that'll make them a little bit more worthwhile. So for example, activity tables. These are a fantastic choice for babies around 8 to 10 months old because they offer a variety of stimuli and challenges that keep little ones engaged. So they have multi-functions, they have different sections with like buttons, levers, spinners, or bead mazes, any interactive elements that explore cause and effect relationships. So as your baby pulls themselves to stand and cruise around, an activity table provides the perfect height for them to practice these new skills. So look for an activity table that includes a mix of tactile, auditory, and visual features. So since these are designed to grow with your child, they provide developmental benefits long after the holidays are over. Another idea is personalized books. Books where you can insert your baby's name into the story. That's going to help them with participation and early language understanding. So they can have elements like your baby's photo or a dedication from you. And that's going to make them a special keepsake along with an educational tool. Reading these books together not only supports your baby's language development, but also creates precious bonding moments that you'll both cherish. As your baby's vocabulary grows, they'll start to recognize their name and other familiar words in the story, so reinforcing their understanding of language. Sensory toys are another valuable toy during this sleep. They engage multiple senses: touch, sight, sound. It helps babies develop their cognitive and emotional skills. They usually have different textures, bright colors, lights, and sounds. That's going to help captivate your baby's attention and stimulate their brain in a variety of ways. For example, a sensory ball with different textures and colors can help improve your baby's grasping ability while helping provide visual and tactile stimulation. Musical sensory toys that have tunes or sounds when you press them encourage auditory processing and can be especially soothing. As your baby interacts with these toys, they're not just having fun, they're building neural connections. So when choosing a sensory toy, look for non-toxic, safe, bright colors, and things that are easy to clean. You might also consider toys that incorporate some soft or crinkle elements, or even reflective surfaces, which can help keep the baby entertained a little bit longer. So as we wrap up this video on Leap 6, let's recap the most important takeaways. During this stage, your baby's making significant strides in physical, cognitive, social, emotional, and language development. They're starting to crawl, cruise, and explore their environment more confidently. Their fine motor skills are improving, allowing them to engage in activities like stacking blocks or playing with shape sorters. They're also becoming more adept at categorizing objects, developing problem-solving skills, and understanding simple words and commands. Socially, your baby is forming stronger bonds with familiar people and learning to assert their independence while still needing your reassurance. We discussed push toys and ride-ons for encouraging mobility, shape sorters and interactive books for cognitive development and language development, sensory toys for helping with categorization, and as the holiday season approaches, we talked about gift ideas like an activity table or a personalized book or sensory toy. So if you found this video helpful and want to dive deeper into your baby's development, be sure to check out my playlist on the earlier developmental stages and following as well. I cover each leap in detail and provide insights and tips as well as toys that help support your baby's development. And don't worry, I'll be here for the upcoming leaps as well, ensuring that you have all the information you need as your baby continues to grow. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. So if you have any questions or if there's any specific topics you'd like me to cover in a future video, please leave a comment down below. Your feedback is incredibly valuable, and I'm here to support you on your parenting journey. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you never miss an update. By subscribing, you'll stay connected with all of the latest tips and tricks and insights to help you navigate the wonderful world of parenthood. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.